Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2. There were more audio issues with this episode, so this commentary is not live. It is done after the fact. So here I'm just explaining what happened last episode. That's Grey Rat right there. At the end of the last episode, we freed him from his cell. And now we can buy stuff from him. So I'm just going to try to explain what I'm doing as best I can. You just won't get my live reactions to what's happening. So the goal for this episode is to go back to the high wall. Fight past the Winged Knight and make it to the first boss, which I did have an option of which boss I wanted to fight. But I'll explain that later. What I'm doing here is I'm heading down to a different path than I went in the last episode. There is a door down here that leads pretty much directly to the Winged Knight, but I didn't realize that I hadn't opened it in the last episode, so essentially I jumped down here, realized that it's locked, and run back. And that was disappointing. And I was dreading running up here because I knew I was gonna aggro one of the dogs, and it chased me up here. But it turned out okay. I just decided to refill everything anyways. So we headed down this way, which is the way I went in episode 1. So a lot of this stuff is happening for the second time. And you see that I'm not killing everything, I'm just doing what I have to get through here. We will probably come back here and go up this staircase at some point, but it's not necessary to progress forward, so I didn't bother with it here. And I always have trouble when I have to fight somebody while someone else is shooting at me. Watching it after the fact like this makes me feel like it should have been easier, but I always have trouble with it. And I am just taking a lot of damage. At this point, I've got a slightly better weapon than I did when I came through here last time. So, fighting this guy is not as much of a challenge. I decided to go two-handed. gave me a little extra damage on the backstab. And then I decided I want my shield back. And now at this point I was out of Estus. But luckily there's a bonfire right up here, so just went up, refilled, and then headed down towards the Winged Knight. So to explain why I have an option for which boss I want to fight, once you get past the Winged Knight, you can either go up to the castle or down towards Undead Settlement. And Undead Settlement is where you have to go to progress through the game. But if you go towards the castle and fight that boss, you can get into the castle early. It's just really difficult once you're in there because you're so underleveled. So I decided to just go down to Undead Settlement in this playthrough. And down on this rooftop here, there is a guy that transforms into a snake monster thing, just like Udix Gundyr did. Last time I didn't bother fighting it, but this time I wanted to try to kill it before it spawned. And I succeeded. So that was pretty cool. So my fighting is still a little sloppy, but I'm sure it'll get better. Alright, so this is the Winged Knight. Not a terribly difficult enemy, but he hits pretty hard this early in the game. Now this is the big mistake I had here. I went down into this hole with him, and then I got trapped. And I could not move out of this spot. I was pretty sure I was going to die, but he eventually backs up and lets me out. Couple of well-timed rolls. And I'm back on the high ground. And when you're not cornered, this guy is pretty easy. He's very slow. You can backstab him without him even doing anything. So not a problem. And I just ran over here to get this rapier. Just in case I want to try using that for a little bit, but I'm almost positive it does less damage than the broadsword, so. So At this point, I'm running up to the door that I couldn't get through in the beginning of the episode, just to complete this little circuit thing so that I can get back down here quicker. Over in that corner there are 4 guys that will ambush you when you try to walk through the door, so I'm just trying to pick a couple of them off, but I kept missing with the firebombs. It was getting a bit embarrassing, but I got them. And then these 2 weren't much trouble. So this is the door. I just opened it up so that I could get back down here, and I headed back down. So these guys over here are called Lothric Knights. I fought a couple of them on the high wall, but I never had to fight 2 at once, and at this level I'm still not capable of it, so I just try to get one of their attentions, pull them over here so I can fight them one-on-one. And I really should be using that kite shield that I picked up because it blocks 100% of physical damage. But I guess that didn't occur to me for pretty much this whole episode. Probably should at least be trying to parry these guys, because it's a really good way to practice parrying. They have very predictable attacks. Alright, so here I'm at the decision point. If I go in there, it goes up to the castle, and if I go down, you head to Undead Settlement. Either way, I have to fight a boss, so at this point I decided to cut the video, go back and heal up, refill my Estus. Alright, so I'll cut it about here and cut back when I have Estus. There we go. So this is a very heavy physical damage focused boss, so I got out the 100 block shield finally. So this is Vort of the Boreal Valley. And if I had gone up to the castle, I would have fought his brother, Dancer. Or sister, I can't really tell. And we'll learn a little bit more about these guys as the story goes on. I hadn't done this fight in quite a while, so I was just kind of being careful and trying to learn his moveset, or relearn it. But once I thought I had it under control, I got a bit greedy, and then the second phase of the fight starts here, and I was not prepared. And he just kind of starts tearing me apart. And there I go. So here's take two. For some reason I tried to throwing knives at him, but as you can see it's barely doing any damage. But I was more careful this time around. And I was ready for phase 2 when it came. Most bosses will have some sort of sprint attack if you get too far away from them, sort of like not allow you to heal, but Vort does not really have any such attack, so you can kind of just back away from him and he'll just slowly walk towards you, which makes him very easy when you're a sorcerer. But I specifically made this build for safety, so it's not going to happen. Right about here, I realized that the time to attack him is when he's doing his frost weapon. So when he winds up for it here, I roll underneath him. And you can see I got at least a quarter, maybe a third of his health just in that little bout there. So I was making him more difficult than need be before. But got it done, and now we can move on. And right about here, I remembered that in order to go forward, you need to get an item from up at the castle, the entrance to the castle. So I have to run all the way up there. So we're just gonna fast forward through that. Ended up killing pretty much everyone along the way. Alright.
The wait has been long, unkindled one. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone.
What?
To their journey homes converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall. Forge on through the great gate and raise this banner.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. Okay, I'll do it. Sprinting down to where I was before. Alright, so now we can proceed to Undead Settlement. It's just a little cutscene here. We're headed down to that broken bridge that you see there. And we're gonna go down into that place eventually. I can't remember what it's called, but we'll be there. Alright, let's get this cutscene underway. Alright, now look, I'm holding the banner in my right hand. Can't see my right hand right now. I must be throwing the banner off the cliff because there's my right hand completely empty and the banner is nowhere to be seen. Just saying. Alright, we are in an Undead Settlement, and that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. Hopefully this audio comes out okay. Just a little side note, my first run through, I did not see that bonfire there. I ran off without lighting it, and that became a pain later. Just take a quick look at the surroundings. That guy on the tower is going to be our best friend soon. Gonna go over there and not soon, but eventually. Got a long ways to go. And we'll go over there pretty soon. And that's all for now. So long.